Hello everyone. So yesterday we discussed about best experiences, and like Steven said, oh, I have a lot of worst experiences, and I said yes, I also have quite a few. And then hello Pita, how are you? Thank you for liking it. I know you're getting ready, but we understand. I shared your hello, Emily. Nice to see you too, Emily. My sister. So, Pita, I told the others also in the morning. I tell them to keep you in your prayers in their prayers as well because of all the losses you are facing. So I told them, you are not available because you are, at the cousin's house. So yeah, it's so unfortunate. Like so much happening like with you. And sister, how are things with you? How's your life getting along? You always keep yourself busy with some activity or the other, so that's something good that you are doing. So don't forget to click on the like button. So today for our theme, we are going to talk about worst experiences in life. And all well so far. Didn't do dance class yesterday. Okay. So you only pay according to the classes you go, or do you have to pay for all the classes in advance? I saw your dance video, your first one. If there is no objection to your teacher, your dance teacher, and the others, you can put that. We can put up that dance video for your channel. So right, so worst experiences in your life. That is today's theme. So I'll just wait for a few more. If they come or not, I don't know. I can some things I can repeat briefly, but in detail, I don't want to repeat some things because those who already heard it, they would have to keep hearing it again. So I don't know if others come or not come today. Dale said he will drop in a little. He will drop in a while because he's very busy with work, and he said when it's always work 7 days a week, and he like has no time for any personal things except when he goes home. Then he has. But otherwise, he said at work he doesn't have any time. But he said he does. He did come on in the morning on my live stream, and he said he'll drop by uh, in the evening. Now he'll drop by, but evening for us means it's morning. It's after close to afternoon for him. Yeah, it'll be about 12 noon for him. No, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock at 5 o'clock. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning for him in London. 10 o'clock morning, London. So he will just drop by. He said for a little while. So yeah, so that's the situation there with Dell. Stephen is on a break before he goes back to change of shift. But for him, it's still 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's he may not be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but he might peep in. He might peep in a little later. So yes, I don't know if any of you can notice it, but notice anything about notice anything? Do you notice anything? Any of you notice anything? I look like a shaved chicken because I had a haircut. So I look like a shaved chicken. So it's good I made up my mind. It was a little hot, but my live stream was hardly any. Few people were there, but everyone disappeared, and anyhow I decided to stop after an hour, because unless there were many people, but if there were few, I decided I would stop for an hour. After an hour, so I stopped, and then I said, let me have a quick lunch, and I went out for a haircut. Hot it was, hot, noon, very hot. Summer crop. Yeah, but when I go to Canada now, it will be winter, so my having more hair would have been better. But it's okay, we are wearing jackets, and we wear hoodies and mufflers and gloves. So that's okay if I have a haircut, no problem. So I decided, like, I need a haircut. I needed the haircut. My hair was really growing wild. If I am not mistaken, my last haircut I had when I was in Cebu. So that was October. I left there on October 18th. So I had a haircut around October 15th or 16th. 15th or 16th October, I had a haircut. And all these months, I didn't have a haircut at all. So I was really due for a haircut. And if I go to Canada and I'm there for 2.5 months, Canada is going to be colder still. I mean, it's going to be, it'll grow wilder. And in Canada, I'll have to really pay a very, very high fee, a very high charge for a haircut. Yeah, they rip you off for a haircut over there. And then it's always haircut plus tax. Haircut, anything you buy plus tax, plus tax. But one thing good in Alberta, the tax is only 5%. In Ontario, where I lived before, the tax was 13%. But now it is only 5% in Alberta. So that's good. Hello, Parinda. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining here. It was really wonderful meeting up with you. You're really a very simple, honest, down to earth person. And are you in Krabi now? Have you left for Krabi? My flights are very, very expensive, very, very expensive. And the flights I'm getting is not an ideal time for my daughter and son-in-law to come and pick me up. It's not an ideal time because it's winter. Then I have to arrive by around 12 noon, because if I arrive around 12 noon, then they have to drive about 2.5 to 3 hours, and now there is snow, so it might take a little longer for them to come and pick me up and then drop me back all as well, bring me back home. So they requested, because it's a long drive, and there's only snow with no lights on the road, and there is always warnings for elk and moose and bears and deer and all those kind of things. Yes, Peter, take care. I know you're going for the memorial service, so to the chapel. So take care, Peter. I'm really sorry with all the losses that you are facing. Really, it's so sad. I hope no more now. I hope no more. So take care. Hi, Del. Nice to see you. I know you called me and said you are very busy. Your work. I understand that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So yes. So don't forget to subscribe. There are 7 viewers and 3 subscriptions. So please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Uh, I'm sorry, the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you in advance. So yeah, Pita said if there is internet at the, she gets some kind of internet at the memorial. Uh, chapel, then she will try to log in. But I understand circumstances are such, it's not easy just to log in to your phone at such occasions. And thank you for all your congratulatory messages. I'm really happy that I have also finally touched the 1000 subscribers mark. And it's all your love, your understanding, your support. I have the support of so many people. So it has really been a good journey. And my watch hours, I don't know whether because I've got the 1000 sub that now my watch hours are showing a little better. Though I've not really had a lot of viewing hours like yesterday morning and this morning. I never had a lot of watch hours, right? Just 1 hour and 1.5 hour and all. But my watch hours were showing quite a lot. So whatever they were holding up, whatever watch hours they were holding up as a backlog, I don't know whether they are releasing it or what they are doing. I have no idea. But my watch hours were a little better. But yes, yesterday evening there were some good watch hours, but about 6 hours or something. So thanks, Dell. Thanks so much, Dell. Yes, thank you, Dell. I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy, Dell, when I reach my 1000, I did not go down, it did not fluctuate. So I'm happy about that. And like at the moment, like it went up to like 100 and 1036. So it is still 1036 from yesterday that it reached 1036. It is still 1036. So that is good. I can't say my sister says, I can't say my worst experience, but my sad experience when I had to get my Alsatian Bruce away, my Alsatian Bruce away, passed away. My pet loved him so much. Thank you, sister. Yes, doing well. Sister, you just started, sister, but still you already got 23 subscribers. And Steven started a little before you, but poor guy has got only 13 subscribers. So at least you have 23, in these few days. I don't think even a week, right? So it's not bad. You'll get some more. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll get some more. Just keep posting. Even if you post one a day, it's good. Yes, it was over 500. Your first one. Yes, 500 plus. You're right. Your first one was 513 or something like that. So, yes, your first sub was really very good views. So, that's it. Just keep posting every day one video. If you can post a little more, it's okay. But just post one video every day. And what I would advise you, sister, rather than posting two videos, like 2 or 3 videos, like instead of posting 2 or 3 videos in a day, I will look at my videos on my new channel. My new channel. Look at my videos. How you can schedule. I've written there how you can schedule your videos. So even if you prepare a video, like when you have time, you can prepare like 3-4 shots, right? You can prepare 3-4 shots, 5 shots a day. You can prepare. Schedule it for every day. Schedule it for every day in advance. So let us say today is the 16th of September, and let's say you make 3 videos. Let's say today you make 3 videos. So schedule the video for releasing it on 17, 18, 19th, like that. So have at least for a week to 10 days. Have videos scheduled in advance for a week to 10 days. Then if you see something good you are making it, post it for that very day. So you can have 2 videos for that very day. Got my point? First, schedule your videos for at least a week to 10 days. So, no worry. If by chance you miss out or something, you already have your videos for the next 1 week or 10 days. And if suddenly you take out something nice, it's better to put it like concurrently for that day. So then quickly you can just upload it for that day. So that day you would have two videos, like, or three videos, whatever is the case. But try to schedule in advance. Look at my new channel, and in that I have written how to schedule a video for a later date. So do that. And if you have any problems, give me a call. I'll walk you through how to do that. So, yes, so don't forget, try to schedule videos. Now, like I have got videos, have no videos looking around. Thanks, brother. Yes, just sister, just step outside your gate. Step outside your gate. Take out of the traffic around you. Take out of the take out if you want of the bus depot. You have the bus depot opposite. Just take that out. Walk towards your left hand side. Okay, and I'm sure there's a market area, or people from the village coming selling vegetables, fruits, and those kind of things. Must be something like that there. I'm just surmising, I do not know right now, but judging by the developments that were taking place, so on the left, if you go, there must be a kind of a market or something like that. So if you go there, you can just shoot some videos over there in the market, like, so you have the videos. And if you see something around about nature, you can shoot that. You can perhaps just take a walk to behind, you said, those dance classes and other things. So behind your house, like, it's more like nature that side as well, right? So you can find something of nature, over there. So around your house, just look. Might be a lot of videos you can make. And you can make a couple of videos on one day. When you go out, just do your shooting for about 1 hour. Your videos are only 60 seconds videos, right? But make longer videos. And then when you go to upload, click on edit into a video, into a shot, edit into a shot, you know. So your long video will automatically be edited as a shot, and you can also upload your long video for some other day. Got it? So make your long video into a short, and also upload your long video for another day. So just do that. Try those suggestions, like, you go for bingo, you go for this. So just take out some pictures at random, or videos or random at when you go for the big bingo, or you go to any activities or anything. So you can easily just take out like that. You can take out on the journey also. You are going by car, or you are going by the rickshaw or something. So you can shoot something, like, as you're traveling. Mind your phone doesn't fall out of the vehicle. So do as much shooting as you can whenever you're going anywhere, and keep it. And when you are at home and nothing to do, then you can start, uploading one by one. And long videos, make it into shots, and then upload as a video for some other day, schedule for some other day. Okay, so that's that. See if you have in your garden, you have any caterpillar, you have any earthworm. Okay, all nature. So if you find some caterpillar, some earthworm, something like that, they don't move very fast, so you can catch them nicely. You can catch them. So yeah, the thing is, shoot, 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 upload, shoot, shoot, upload, shoot, shoot, upload. Yeah, you will get people who pass by and they just view, but they don't subscribe. They don't even click on like. So that's okay. That's okay. It will happen in time. It will happen in time. It will happen in time. Like, there are some of my videos I've got, like, even like what, 6 7 views, 6 and 7 views I've got for some videos. Shots are around 15 20. Shots are around 15 20 views. But yet there are some shots which have gone up to 3,500, right? And some videos have gone up to 1,500. So over time, people will watch also. It's not like over time people will go back to your previous videos. They see a nice video, then they might decide to look at some other videos, and something catches their attention. Then they will watch the previous videos. So you will also get more and more views building up. Like I remember my video, 6 minutes only, 6 minutes something. Beauty and the Beast, 6 minutes something. I remember on the day itself, I think it was only around 700 and something views, like by the next day. But people have been watching that. Even till today, people are still watching that. Some of my new subscribers and, new YouTube family, they have been watching Beauty and the Beast, and it's like around 1,500 now. So people are still watching all videos they will watch. But the watch hours for shots, the watch hours are not counted. Remember that. Watch hours are not counted for shots. Only views. Only views. And like for monetization, you need like minimum 3 million to 10 million views. You need 3 million to 10 million views. People are getting like 60 million views for one shot. There are people who have got up to 60 million. Oh, why 60 million? I have seen 315 million. I have seen 315 million views. Wow, how do they manage that? I just don't know. I don't know. So the best bet is to get your 3,000 or 4,000 watch hours. So do a lot of videos, do a lot of videos as well. So yes, when your pet died, yes, that was very. His name was Bruce. And what was the other dog you had that was white color? So yeah, that was bad. Ah, that was the one. Okay, Bruce. Ah, Caesar. Yes, Caesar. You had to put down Caesar. Yes, Bruce was the one that was biting everybody. Yeah. But even Caesar, you all used to put Caesar away when we means put him away upstairs or something when we came. He used to sometimes, or be outside in the garden. Caesar also sometimes used to go to bite. Alsatians are a one-man dog, so Alsatians are a bit unpredictable, right? Alsatians are a bit unpredictable because they are only a one-person's dog. So even in a family, they would be attached only to one person mainly, not everybody. Yeah, Caesar, you had to put down. That was very sad. He was nice. Caesar was a good one. So yes. So anything about worst experiences? So no, I'm saying worst experiences plural. So there can be many bad experiences, many bad experiences. But of course, losing your pet also is a very bad experience. Like it's one of the worst also, I would say. So yeah. So worst experience or bad experience or whatever it is, it's an experience that was not good, right? It's an experience that was not good, that you had to go through, a situation you have to go through. So we'll include all those kind of situations. We can include all those kinds of situations. Like how I used to joke with Marie, my wife. I used to joke with Marie always, and I used to tell her, like in her family, her mother was alive, her father died young. In my family, my father died earlier, my mom was still living. So I always used to joke with her that there's longevity for the women in both your family and my family. There is longevity for the women. So the men are dying before the husbands are dying before the wives. So definitely I am going to die before you. So we always used to talk about that, and then just the opposite happened, right? She passed away. So that was something sad, unfortunate. It was like the way she passed away was very, very unfortunate, right? She opted for maid because she did not want to suffocate and die, and that is exactly what happened. She suffocated and died when the BiPAP machine stopped working. So, that's horrible, right? It's the worst death somebody can have. It's a death that you feared, and she struggled for 1 hour. Okay, you have to remember that she struggled for 1 hour. So in that 1 hour, you can imagine what was going through her mind, knowing that she's going to pass away, right? Unless some miracle happens and somebody comes over to help or something like that. So yeah, that was a bad experience. Now there was another bad experience. Only two people are here on my channel. Anyhow, whoever watches the replay after that, they can hear in the replay. They could hear. So let me see if I can mention some other brief incident. Some brief incident if I can mention. Not something which requires a lot of detail. So let me think. What can I say about a brief incident, worst incident? Uh, what can I say? I don't know. Perhaps, perhaps. Uh, or let's say the worst, unfortunate, sad, any kind of those kind of things, like, we'll include it for today's theme, right? Any kind of thing. Because, so, sister, I don't know if you remember, but we had cats also when we were staying in the railway quarters, not the Berkeley buildings, the mechanic railway quarters. And there also we had cats. There also we looked after cats. And one day somebody called us and said that one of our cats is injured. And we went there, and somebody from the Hutman colony, they had smashed a leg with a stone. They had smashed the leg, or one leg of the hind leg uh, of one of the cats. And another cat, they just cut off the tail. Must have been those butchers over there. They just cut off the tail. Oof. So in the end, I think the one with the smashed leg, we had to put it to sleep, and the other one, I think we also put it to sleep later on. So yeah, that was really sad, to see them in that state, and that cat was crying so much with a smashed leg. So such cruel people. There are such cruel people, cruel to animals, like. So that was a very unfortunate incident. So, well, there were many bad experiences in my life. Many bad, some not so bad, some pretty bad. Once I was traveling by the bus, and as you enter our buses in India, as you enter the buses, I used to try to stand there. There were steps. The double decker bus had steps going upstairs. So down, like, as you enter, there was a little niche where you can where you could be standing, So I used to be standing there, and one day I felt my pocket being picked. I used to put my wallet in my back pocket. But after that incident, I said no, never again, because there are many pickpockets, and they have a very nice. They used to have a very nice system. One will pick your pocket and pass the wallet to the others, and he will pass it to someone else and someone else. So even if you try to search around you, nobody will have the wallet because they have already passed it on to their partners in crime. So when I felt my wallet being picked, activity in my back pocket, I quickly turned around. The first thing, I put my hand and it was not there, but I was a bit fast enough, and I saw like it was the conductor's hand. Imagine the bus conductor. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing with my wallet?" And he said, "No, no, no. I found it down." I said, "No, you did not find it down at all." I said, "Because it was too fast. As I felt it, I turned around immediately." I said, "So, it's not that you had time, you found it down. No, you are the one who picked my pocket." I said, I just gave him a piece of my mind. I took my wallet back again. So from that time, I started keeping my wallet in my front pocket. If I wore jeans, in my front pocket. Those pickpockets were so good. From the lady's handbag, how they would open, and inside the lady's handbag would be another small wallet, and they would even take out the money from that small wallet inside. Can you believe that? Not just take out the small wallet, even open the small wallet and take out the money from the wallet. Oh, professionals are professionals, really. So that was another, being pickpocketed was another bad incident that took place. So yeah, the worst ones were Mari passing away and the way she passed away. So that was very tragic. Then another very unfortunate thing that took place. Another very unfortunate thing that took place because so we had gone to India for the stem cell treatment, for my wife's stem cell treatment. We had gone to India, and the flight. I mentioned this before in a live stream of mine, but talking about this, I'll mention more details. So we had gone for the stem cell treatment. So our flight was Toronto, London, Heathrow, Bombay. And no, going time was Toronto, Frankfurt. Yes, going time was Toronto, Frankfurt, Bombay. But coming time was Bombay, London, Heathrow, Toronto. So going, we had no problem. Uh, Mari had, because of her illness, she had lung issues. Her lungs were working only 20% of normal human being. So on the flight, being long flights, we had to charge the battery of a BiPAP. We had to charge the battery, plug it into the system in the aircraft, and we had no problem. So I forget, like, going time what airlines it was, but the other one was some kind of Indian airline, Jet Airways, and we came back also by the Jet Airways to London. But from London Heathrow to Toronto, it was a British Airways. It was British Airways. So on the way back, then we charged the BiPAP, but it was running low. So because she had to have it on continuously, high altitude also was a problem. So we plugged in the BiPAP. Now people are plugging in their phones and everything, right? They are plugging in their phone chargers and iPad chargers and laptop chargers and all. They are plugging it into the aircraft. So oh, there, Dell has subscribed to your channel, sister. Dell has subscribed to your channel. So now you will have 14, or he already subscribed before, maybe. Okay. So So, Dell, I'm talking about your British Airways. Your British Airways. I'll never fly by British Airways again. Never. So, I plugged it in. Now, one of the pursers or somebody must have seen it because the head stewardess or, flight purser or whoever, whatever designation, but the head of them, she came and she told us, sorry, the regulation says that you cannot plug in your BiPAP machine. And we said, what is a BiPAP? People are plugging in their cell phones, they are plugging in their laptops, their iPads, and tablets, and so what's with a BiPAP? And we have always been traveling by flight whenever we go abroad, and we've always plugged it into the aircraft. Nobody has ever told us anything, and this is something new that British Airways is saying it's not allowed. And there was another purser, so he must have been the guy who complained. He was standing with a big manual, and then he was telling this head, pointing something, and reading loud as ever, said, okay, if you say so, no problem. But just remember, my wife is suffering from ALS. I explained what it was. They did not know. Then I said, her lungs are only working 20%. She needs the BiPAP machine. So if anything happens to her, her death will be on your hands. I'm warning you right now, her death will be on your hands. They said, but these are the rules. I said, sorry. If a phone, if a iPad, if a laptop can be charged, then I see no reason why a BiPAP. There's nothing wrong with a BiPAP. It's not going to interfere with any electrical. I'm not doing something that is going to jeopardize the lives of people on board the aircraft. No, that's not going to happen because it's not going to happen with a BiPAP. So whatever your manual says, I'm not even listening to it. I don't know. Does it specify BiPAP? BiPAP? No. So I'm not going to even accept what your manual says, unless it says yes, BiPAP is that way. So I'm sorry. If she passes away, anything happens to her, she becomes serious. Your airlines is all of you are going to be sued, and your airlines is going to be at stake. So, sorry, sir. That's the rules. Okay, fine. That's the rules. So she went off, and then sure enough, we still had about four, I forget exactly, but I think about 4.5, 5 hours we still had to land in Toronto Pearson Airport. And my wife suddenly started taking bad. She started getting breathless. She taking deep breaths. She had problems with breathing, and she began to turn cold. And she became very thin and frail, because of all this sickness she had. So she became very the cold. She was starting to become cold, and you know I asked the stewardess for the blanket, extra blanket. She gave extra blanket, and then I told the stewardess, please inform your head. My wife is taking bad. We still have a couple of hours, 4 hours or 4.5 hours left still to reach Toronto. She's not going to make it at this rate. Unless a BiPAP is plugged in and she can use it, she's not going to be surviving. So the stewardess came, and then she tried to look at my wife's condition and all that. She's saying, "Oh, 1 minute." Then she made an announcement. Are there any doctors or nurses on board? Can you please come? Blah blah blah. So first the nurse came, and while that nurse was checking up with my wife, another they brought whatever they had, the first aid whatever, and another nurse also happened to come along. So they were both trying to check, the pulse and, stethoscope. They looked and checking this, that, and the other and all that. And they said, yes, she is getting bad. And they said, let's give her oxygen. And I told them, I said, you're not understanding. You're not understanding. You don't have an idea about this sickness. Please just somebody Google this. Just Google, and so that you know before you do anything, just Google it so that you know what the sickness is and what it is. I said oxygen is not going to help. To inhale the oxygen, you should be able to breathe. To take in oxygen, you should be able to breathe. But she cannot breathe. She doesn't have the power. It's a muscle wastage. Her lung muscles are not strong enough. So her lungs are functioning only at 20% of a normal human being. So the lungs are not pumping enough to take in the air and expel the air. It's not doing that. So the oxygen is not a solution, because even oxygen you have to breathe that in, but she cannot breathe in. That is the problem with this disease and with her state. So what the BiPAP does, I explained to them what the BiPAP does. It's programmed at certain settings, and every 3 months, like we are going for these checkups, and when we go for these checkups, then they check everything again, the vitals, and then if it has to be reset, they again reset the BiPAP to certain new settings if she needs it, like So what the BiPAP does, the BiPAP like gives electric shocks to the lungs, and that stimulates the lungs. It's like when a person is like pronounced dead in the hospital during surgery or something, right? Don't they give the, I forget, I did first aid and I'm forgetting the defib, right? The defib. So don't they use that? Don't they use the defib to try and shock the heart so that the heart starts working again? Correct? They do that. The electric shock they give to the heart. So something similar like that. So that sends like these shocks to the lungs, and that makes the lungs work, and that's why the lung is able to then draw in the air. So that is what happens. So it's not the oxygen that she needs. No, she needs air to breathe, and the only way she can do that is by the BiPAP machine. And then she started turning more cold. She wanted more blankets, and oh my God, the nurses just stood up and said, "Please, anyone, if you haven't used your blankets, can you please give us your blankets? We've got an emergency situation here." And oh, don't talk. From where people throw blankets? They were just, some also used blankets they were throwing anyway. So blankets were just being thrown from here, there, and everywhere, And I do not know how many blankets she was covered in. Then, like I lifted, like she was sitting at the aisles and I was sitting inside. So the armrest, we lifted it off, and she could kind of lie down. But the other person sitting the other side did not bother to get up. They could have got up for her to lie down, but no, they did not get up. But I offered my seat, so she was half into the aisle. She was half, her body like was into the aisle as well. So. Uh, So then the nurses were getting worried, and they spoke to the head and said, "No, she's sinking. She's sinking. At this rate, she's going to be sinking, and she's going to be in serious trouble. And we cannot predict, except for an end, we cannot predict anything else. We are not equipped to handle this situation on board the aircraft." So then the head went to, apparently she went to the captain, and she must have spoken to the captain about this. And later on, what we heard was like that is exactly what she had done, because then the captain radioed Toronto Airport. He radioed and he said, like, we have this situation on board, and he explained everything, and he gave some details of the vital signs, according to whatever the nurses were able to get. And he spoke to the ground control, and they in turn, like, found out, and they got information. And we mentioned, call Sunnybrook Hospital. We said, call Sunnybrook Hospital. They will give you all the information about ALS, like, and there's Dr. Zinman. There's Dr. Zinman. If you get Dr. Zinman, or anybody else, then if he's not there, so but call Sunnybrook and they will give you information. So long story short, it took time for them, but we came to know all this later on. But the nurse suddenly, that she came back to us and said, "Okay, I spoke to the captain. The captain's given permission. You can plug in the BiPAP." So we plugged in the BiPAP, but believe me, it still took about an hour and a half or something for her to get back, like, to semi normal, like, semi normal condition. So it took her some time to get back to that condition, but Thankfully, she did get back, and then she began to feel hot with so many blankets. So that was a very good response. A very good response that was. She began to warm up a bit. Her hands and all had turned cold, so she began to now warm up a bit. And yes, then they made an announcement. They made an announcement when it was time to descend. Like, they made an announcement, and they said, like, we have an emergency on board. People around us knew about it, like, and we were fairly behind, like, so people had known that way, but people ahead and, business class, first class, they wouldn't have known. And so anyhow, they made an announcement that we have emergency on board. So paramedics are already on standby at Pearson, Toronto Pearson Airport. So we just request all the passengers, please don't get up at all. Please remain in your seats with your seatbelt fastened. Please do not get up at all till the paramedics are on board and they have checked the patient and then they have left with the patient. Then only can, you take your luggage or anything. So please, there is a request. And they made it a couple of times, and then they came to me and spoke to me, and she said, see, I have already made the announcement couple of times, but people, she said, what people are like, so we cannot we guarantee that the people will listen. And so we'll have to walk away with whatever it is, and if they do get up, we have to make them sit down. Our air hostesses and persons will have to help to make them sit down. But let's see what happens. So when we touched down and they opened the aircraft doors, the paramedics came, they attended to my wife, uh, just checked her vital signs, whatever it is, then quickly put her onto whatever kind of a thing they had, the thing. And they took her out, then they put her onto a proper stretcher and took her one side. And it was only after quite some time, okay, after quite some time, that I suddenly noticed passengers were had come out of the aircraft, and they were walking past us. So I noticed that only a little later, like I noticed that passengers were going. And then later on, like, when later on, when we went home and then I was thinking about the incident, then it struck me. Not a single person stood up. Not a single person stood up. Not a single person stood up. Can you believe that? Afterwards, it struck me like, not a single person. Yes, we sort of just walked out with the paramedics with the hand luggage. I took it at, and like they put a BiPAP machine and all that. They carried everything for me, and some helped me with the trolley bags. And then I really, it struck me that yes, not a single person got out. So so this is what happened finally. So you see, even for those remaining, let's say, 3 hours, 2.5 hours, when the BiPAP was plugged in, what happened? Nothing happened to the aircraft. We know, we have been traveling, and all aircraft, they have come. They have seen the BiPAP on. It's not like we were hiding or something. They have seen it on. Nobody ever said, oh, so many years we used to go for our steps. So many years means we went there at least about three occasions, three occasions, or more than three occasions. Yeah, more. So you see, but British Airways, after that, I said, thank you, British Airways. You're not for me. They are not going to, if I don't travel by British Airways, they are not going to lose anything, right? But I will lose. But so that was a real bad experience for me. I'll never travel British Airways again. Never travel. So I would consider that, as one of the worst experiences after the way my wife passed away, the way she passed away. That I cannot even imagine till today when I think about it, my hair like kind of stands when I think about it. I shudder to think, what she would have gone through in that last 1 hour. So yeah, so this I consider like the British Airways thing was my second worst nightmare. I think my second worst nightmare was that. That's why I say my wife passing away was is the worst one for me, because like seeing on that aircraft and knowing that she's going to be passing away, like I knew like she's going to be passing away if she doesn't have a BiPAP. She's going to be passing away, and what are all of us doing there? Nothing. There's no way we can help her. There's nothing we can do to help her, right? And that is the same situation she was, but alone at night, alone at home, a person who cannot even turn. She doesn't have the muscles and the energy to even turn in bed. That's why sometimes in the night I would put her to sleep. She would be remaining in that one position whole night because she couldn't turn on her own. So when I used to stay home in the night, then suddenly she'll just call out and say, "Can you just turn me?" So then I would just get up, turn her either on her back or to the side or sometime to the other side. But can you imagine how she would have struggled the nights I'm not there to, just sleep on one side throughout. She might have been uncomfortable, but she cannot turn, right? And I took the day job so that I took the night job so I could take care of her during the day, and my son was supposed to be home at night, but that night he went away for his party. It was a weekend and he went for his party. His party was more important to him than his mom. Yet he had the audacity to blame me after that. Anyway, that's a different story. So, yes, so, and the nights that he used to spend at home, the nights he used to spend at home and not go out, he had a walkie-talkie, like for the babies they put, like, correct, not a walkie-talkie, but like for the babies, so a monitor, like the baby monitor. So he had that in her room, and he was in the other room. So in the night, if there was anything uncomfortable, if he heard any sound with a BiPAP machine, making strange sound, if he found like my wife called out or something, or she was saying something, even if it was faint, because she had the BiPAP, remember the mask. So sometimes if she's saying something and not loud enough, but if he felt like there was something uncomfortable and he had it on the loudest volume, so if he felt like there was something, he just came out of his bedroom and came to our bedroom, and he could see to his mom. That way he could do it, but that day he wasn't there, and he came home only at around 5 o'clock in the morning. Then he gave me a call and said, "Mom is no more." And I said, "What?" He said, "Yes, mom is no more." And quickly I told my other security guard, "I'm sorry, my wife has passed away. I have to rush home. I don't know what's happened." So, and it was a weekend, right? It was a Saturday morning. So I said, "I have worked till 11 o'clock. I start at 11 o'clock night and I work till 11 o'clock in the morning." So I said, "I'm sorry, I have to go. You just contact the mobile supervisor and explain to him what's happened. I have to leave. He will arrange to send somebody to cover my shift." Like, so he said, "Don't worry, you go." He was that young Sardaji boy, like very nice Punjabi boy. So he said, "Nice Sir G, Sir G." He used to call me Sir G. G is just a form of respect. So Sir G, go, go. So I went. So as I went, I was waiting for the elevator, and some paramedics came and they said, "Excuse me, sir." And they went inside and they said, "No, sir, please take the next elevator." I felt like telling them, "You are going to my house only." But I said, "Let it be." I waited. I got into the next elevator. And then when I walked home, the same paramedics were there. They must have been surprised. "Oh my God, this fellow's come here." And I said, "This is my wife." I said, my son told me that she's passed away. And then he said, "Oh, come, come," and all that. So apparently, from the reading on the BiPAP machine, I think things started like, hmm, I don't know. I forget now the time. Did it start just after I left the house or something like that, or it started around 12 o'clock or something? But like three times she had tried to call on her cell phone. She tried to call on her cell phone, but three times she called only voicemail. Three times there was only voicemail. She was calling voicemail, but she didn't get through me. Like, she would always try to get to me, but I guess she couldn't. She must have been crying, plus the BiPAP machine there, plus you can imagine the tears rolling down. You know, it's one of the worst moments, really worst moments. No, for a person like her, it was not right for her to go that way. The worst way, like, which she did not want. She always used to say, when you cannot breathe, it's like you're drowning in the sea. You're drowning in the sea, you're drowning in water. That is the feeling. You can imagine. That's why I consider that to be the worst nightmare, the worst nightmare. And then, so I can imagine, like, on the aircraft that day, like, what the feeling would be like. Just sitting there helpless, what to do? I'm rubbing her hands, I'm rubbing her feet, I'm rubbing her hands and feet. Even the nurses were rubbing her hands and feet, or they were rubbing her hands, I was rubbing her feet. And, trying to keep her warm, bring some warmth to her. So, yeah, what to do? What to do? That is life, right? We have to accept life as it is, but it's a horrible feeling, when I think of it. It's so, yeah, I would consider my wife passing the worst incident in my life, and the thing with the BA, British Airways, that would be my second worst nightmare. Like, so, what to do? What are some of the other bad things, bad things that happened in my life? Hmm. Sad event, very sad, very sad. So, what are some of the other incidents that bad? Hmm. I hope Steven comes on for a little while, before I end, because it's still early for him, about 6 o'clock morning for him, so it's still early. He's having some off days because of a change of shift duties, so he has a few days off. If he was working the night shift, he comes off in the morning early, 5:30 or so. He reaches home sometimes little early. Then he would, come on my live stream. But now he's at home, but it's too early to get up, right? But he said yesterday, he said he has a lot of bad experiences and he can share it. So that's nice. So what I know I said I will speak on many things, but I don't know. Uh, let me think. Let me think. What are some other bad experiences in my life? I always like to start from childhood. Start in sequential order. It makes it nice. Like good experiences, I started that way also, right, from childhood. So I like to talk bad experiences. One bad experience, and it taught me a lesson in life, and that's why in my thumbnail, I have a picture. And even before that, I always say, when bad things happen to you, when you make mistakes, you create false errors, they are good because you can learn from life's lessons, right? You can learn from life's lessons. So I've got one of the things on my thumbnail, one of the things also. Forget about bad experiences, but remember the lessons you have learned from it. Yes, forget the incident, but remember the lessons you have learned from it. But obviously, when we remember the lessons, we remember also the bad experience, right? So that is it. So, so talking about childhood, I lost my grandmother when when I was in my final year of as a school student in my final year of school studies. I lost my grandmother on Easter Sunday. She was sick and she was admitted to a hospital, and she had a fall in the hospital, and she never ever recovered from the fall. Okay, she had a fall and she never ever recovered from the fall. So then uh, I was the one that ran around to arrange for the funeral and those kind of things. No, my parents helped out also. I ran around for my father-in-law's funeral. Yes, I ran around for my father-in-law's funeral. So we finished with the burial rites and all. Then later on in life, whenever I used to think of my grandmother, I always used to think like there was a time when she stayed with us. She was of good age. She was pretty old, and when she used to stay with us, and we used to ask, I used to ask her like, Grandma, when you feel hungry, just let me know. I'll serve you your food and all. And she said, yes, okay, okay, I'll tell you. And then when she would tell, she'd say, Baba, only this much, okay? Only this much. I don't eat more. Just serve me this much. Yes, yes. In the beginning it was okay. After that, every time she's saying the same thing. Yes, yes. I used to just say like that, pretty rudely, like, So, yes, 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 Grandma. I know. I will serve you little. I know, I know. But even to say that, like, she's old. You know, I had not experience with old people like that, and things like that at that time. I was still young, so I used to remember this, and I used to feel so sad, that how I used to answer her back again that way. Yes, yes, Grandma, I know. Yes, yeah, I know, I know. Like so curtly, like not even in a nice tone. Okay, Grandma, I will serve you. Don't worry. No, not like that. Today, when I think of it, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I can't do anything about it, right? I can't do anything, but I feel so bad. These are lessons in life. So later on in life, like you see other people, you know how to behave with them, right? You know how to behave with them. It's okay, Del. I know work beckons you when you have to go. It's okay. Don't worry. Yes, I know. I know. Like my sister always said, when it's time, it's time. You have to go. So just forget about it. But you know, some things you can't forget, right? Del, you can't forget certain things. So thank you for listening in for so long. Thank you so much. Like appreciate it. Like, and don't worry when you have to log off. You have to go. No problem. Don't worry. So yes. So today I really feel bad. Like like even today now when I see people like when was it? Yesterday. Yesterday I was in the mall and I saw a man pushing his wife on a wheelchair. I guess it's his wife pushing her on a wheelchair. And I always think it's so fortunate. Like it's so fortunate. Like when you see men pushing a wheelchair with the wife in it, it's so fortunate because I've also seen many women who are pushing wheelchairs with the husband in it. And it's not easy for a woman. A man is kind of stronger, and women it's not strong of them to lift the man. And sometimes men are really heavy, right? So it's not really men at least can lift up their wives and things like that. So yesterday, but when I see anybody in a wheelchair, immediately my heart goes out to them because sometimes I feel like asking what has happened to them, you know, what are they suffering from? I like to ask them, find out from them. But people, would not, I don't know the language and people would not readily talk, right? So, but my heart goes out to them because it reminds me of my wife, how I used to take her everywhere in the wheelchair, you know, in the wheelchair. There's a very There's a very amusing incident. Now, it's not a bad experience, it's not a worst experience, it's nothing, but sorry, maybe just to take a kind of a break. But I'll just mention something I'll just mention something in between now. It's a little humorous and funny, but when I think of it, oh my God. So, my wife had just got a new motorized wheelchair. That motorized wheelchair costs around 35,000 Canadian dollars. You could buy a car. You could buy a car for that, amount of money. So the motorized wheelchair was around 35 to 40,000. But we never paid a pie. The government paid 75% and 25% was paid by some association. So we never paid a pie because my wife was not working, and as a security guard, I was not earning much money. So anyway, we got that. So they explained to us how it works, and and they said we advise you in the beginning, because my wife, she had some control in her hand, but not good control. So just take it slowly, go slowly. So they had kept the settings for it to go slowly, and they said don't go fast because till you get used to it, then you can drive around fast. And I have seen men in the mall zipping around on motorized wheelchairs, motorized ones, like as though it was a car, literally zipping around. So there it was that my wife was going along, and I would walk at the side. So very slowly she would be moving, just keep it slowly, and the speed was set to slow. So we were going, and suddenly we just came out of the house, and we had crossed over our road, and then we walked a little distance, and we crossed over another, the main road, okay. And then we had to now go, and we would pass like two small intersections, and then we would come to the mall. So as we were going there, it just suddenly started to rain, and then it was raining heavily. Heavily it started to rain. We never even had an umbrella. We never even had an umbrella. So some or the other, I was just trying to shield my wife like what the best way I could. And now how to make it go faster? We did not know. That thing is going at snail's pace, So we did not know how to make it go faster. And all of a sudden, a car drew up alongside. A car drew up alongside. The window came down, and an umbrella came out. So I quickly went there, and the lady, that the husband was driving, the lady said, take the umbrella, you can use it, at least the umbrella. I said, okay, we are going to the mall. If you come to the mall, you can collect your umbrella. And they said, no, 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 don't worry and all. You carry on. You just take the umbrella and use it. So they gave the umbrella, and we were able to use the umbrella. So at least I had the umbrella, and I'm walking with her, and it's going slowly, but it's raining. She was still getting wet. And then suddenly another car parked at the side. And when I looked at the car, I realized it was one of our cars. My son had come in the car that he used to drive. So he had come in that car, and he quickly got out. He quickly got out, and he like he told me, put mama in the car, put mama in the car. So my wife could only sit in the front seat. It was difficult putting her behind, only in the front. So he had parked in such a way I could. And while I was helping her to get into the car, uh, he like uh, he like because we had the wheelchair, right? And that motorized wheelchair cannot be folded. We had another wheelchair. That wheelchair was a collapsible wheelchair. Okay, but the motorized one is not collapsible. So the motorized one was only used whenever she was going anywhere by uh, what was it? The handicap vehicles. The handicap vehicles they have. So you have to pay only a bus fare. You pay whatever you would pay for a bus. So you would only pay that. We couldn't take a bus, a normal bus we couldn't take, because one reason is that she would not be able to maneuver it inside, so that would be difficult. And secondly, the buses will not go door to door. But these, I'm trying to think of the name, what they are called. So these vehicles, Transhelp. We used to get the Transhelp. In Canada, it is called Transhelp. So the Transhelp used to come and pick you up from door to door, and you only paid a bus fare. And for her, it was free. Or no, yeah, for her it was free because we. But for me, if anybody is accompanying, then you pay just the bus fare, whatever is the normal bus fare, you pay that. So at that time, the bus fare was $3. Later on, it became $3.50. So you just pay that one fare, and for her it was free. So we used to take the Transhelp, but now we were going to the mall, and Transhelp means they give you a fixed time. You have to come there. They will come later on. It's a window of like half an hour to 1 hour, so you might be waiting down even 1 hour. So yeah, so it was some short distance. We said we'll take the motorized one. So my son quickly, so he couldn't put it in the car. So we quickly got in, and I drove the car. He said, "Y'all go. I will bring the wheelchair. I will bring it to the mall." So I drove quickly and all that, put it in the parking and all, and then brought my wife up, and we planned where we'll meet. So second cup. My wife loved to have either Tim Hortons coffee or second cup, but she preferred second cup coffee to Tim Hortons. So we said we'll meet at second cup. So we met at second cup. So my son took the umbrella to use on the wheelchair. But when he came, he was still drenched because by the time uh, he saw to the car and went and helped with my wife and all that, and sat in the wheelchair. He was already drenched. So he met us at the mall. Because now at the mall, I had to take my wife around. Like, oh, sorry, yes, sorry. We met down in the parking. What am I saying? Yes, we met down in the parking because I had to take her up to on the wheelchair. Yeah, but then we went to Second Cup to have a nice coffee so she can get warmed up, And I had a tea. She had a coffee. My son also had a coffee. So yes, so we met down in the parking. Yeah, we met down in the parking. So I told him the location, the parking number, and all, where I was. Correct. I would have told him that. So he came, and yes, we came and all that. Then he came up with us for a little while, and then after some time, he said he will go off, and when we finish, he will come and pick us up. He said, "Don't come back. Just wait. I will come and pick you up. I'm free. I will come and pick you up." We said, "Okay." So he must have realized it's raining. He said later on, he said, he realized it was raining. So he quickly, came over there. Now, he gave us when we sat down to have coffee, he was giving us, when he was, when he was, when he was traveling on the wheelchair was going slowly. He also did not know how to speed up the wheelchair. So the wheelchair was really crawling, So many people came and asking him because he's there with the umbrella. They're asking him, "Is everything okay? You're in this rain. You're getting wet and all. Is everything okay?" He's saying, "Yes. It's okay, but I do not know how to make the wheelchair go faster." You know, and so none of them also knew how to make it go faster. What was the setting to do? They said, "Oh, okay. We also don't know," and all that. And it's only when he came pretty near to the mall that somebody said, "Oh, I know," and he just adjusted it. But my son said he showed him where to adjust it and how to adjust it. So then my son said, "Oh, okay." Then my son came, but he was already near the parking light. But anyhow, he came, and uh, then when he came back again, and he just said, in case it rains or something, so don't come and get wet again. And already the seat was wet, and we had to put some extra toweling. We used to carry a lots of things with us when she's going out. So some extra toweling material and all, we had to put it down to soak in the water so she could sit little comfortably. So yeah, that was it. And we could picture, my son trying to ride in the rain with the umbrella, and I was standing with the umbrella over my wife while she was, you know, um, getting wet, and we were trying to move. You know, oh my God, that was hilarious. That was really hilarious. So though it is worst experience, but I had to, talking about this, I had to mention about this. Yeah. So what other bad experience? I was thinking there were so many bad experiences, but if they were really bad, I would remember it, right? If it was really bad, I would be remembering the life experience. But I guess it's not that bad. But only these two things about my wife, it was really bad. There is another bad experience. There is another bad experience, but not for me. But it happened to another child. The previously where we were staying, Uh, as kids, when we were playing, we used to play which is called gilli danda. A piece of wood would be sharpened on either end. It would be sharpened in the middle, point coming to the middle, and with another, like a baton, a baton, wooden baton, So we would hit either side. We would hit it, and then we would try to balance it, and then hit it hard, and it would go far away. And then we would do that till we missed. If we missed it, then we were out. So like that we used to do and see who could go the furthest. So then the next person will start again from the starting point, and we would mark where we went, and then who goes the furthest to do it. And then what would happen? That fellow would go in a different direction, right? And we used to measure with the steps. With our foot, we used to measure steps or strides. So we had to get one same fellow doing the strides, and then for shorter distance with the feet we had to measure, because it depends where you hit. So sometimes you hit in some other direction. So we had to measure to see who's further away, to be the winner. So while playing, we used to tell the other children to please move one side, because sometimes when you flip it, you do not know where it is flipping, and when you're hitting, you do not know, like cricket ball, right? When you're playing cricket, you do not know which part of the ball you're hitting when it's googling or whatever it is, and sometimes you are thinking you're hitting here, but it goes somewhere else, or it goes behind, or it goes for a catch. Correct? It happens like that. You're trying to hit on the on side, and you find it chips the bat and goes on the off side. So it's something like that. You do not know where you're hitting it, so like that. And one girl, she must have been about 3 or 4 years or something, little girl standing one side. The thing went straight in her eye and got stuck in her eye. A long story short, she lost her vision in that eye. Parents came fighting and all, but then what to do? We say, tell the children to stand far away, don't stand close by. And how much we cannot force them to stand far away, right? So we used to make sure the post is clear, but then sometimes you hit and it goes in the wrong direction. What can you do? You cannot help it. So, they had to understand, but then that girl lost her eye, right? Sad, sad. Because of our game, she lost her eye. Tragic it was. And girls, how it is. If it was a boy, like in Indian custom, for the boy to get married, no problem. He can be lame, he can be blind, he can be deaf, kind of, no problem. But if a girl, something is wrong, then people don't want to marry her. In-laws will not accept it. So I don't know what became of her. I still remember her name was Jaya. Jaya. Yeah, her name was Jaya. Very sad. See, suddenly I was just thinking what's her name and it came into my mind, Jaya. So very sad, very sad. I wonder where all those people are now living right now. Now, imagine I landed in Canada, I landed in Dubai, then I landed in Canada. Like when I came to know the story about my father uh, leaving as a refugee. My father, when he had to leave Japan as a refugee. So now when I heard stories like that about him, all of them going, I began to read on the internet. I began to read on the internet about what happened in those years. And so when I was reading about that, this there was a particular guy that was telling his story, and he said like at that time he was something like 8 years old, or he was like 8 years old or something. So So he like was about 8 years old when he said like what a journey it was for them, like to go all the way from Burma, Myanmar, from Burma to go all the way to India. That was the nearest place that they could get refuge in. So so he said so he gave his experience, and it was so tragic, the way he was writing it. It was so tragic, and he like how he still remembered 8 or 18, I forget now. Thinking about it, because he said he remembered a lot of stuff. So maybe I remember when I was 8 years old, but so either he was 8 or 18, I don't know. So like he said like he remembered, and like they couldn't even take rest because the Japanese would have captured them and tortured them and God knows what. So like even they were so scared to take rest till they finally came into Indian territory. But it was a very hard journey. It was a very hard journey for them, and things like that. So today he's in the UK. He's in London. He says now today I'm in UK, London. So it was very interesting to read his story, his recollection and what all he, mentioned over there. So when I was reading his story, I was just thinking about my father and all his siblings. His mother had died by that time. His mother died on after Christmas on 26th of January, 26th of February, 26th of February, 1925. 1925. So next year will be 100 years that my grandmother from my father's side passed away. Wow. My grandmother from my mother's side passed away in 1972. When I was in my final year of school. So 1972, she passed away. So my father's mother, passed away when she was pretty young, I guess, because she had given birth to the last child. She gave birth to the last child when she passed away. She last child, I think, in August or something, August or September or something. She gave birth, and December, like she passed away. So sad. So my father always said they were all still pretty young, and they were mostly brought up by his grandmother. He was brought up by his grandmother, and his grandmother, my father's grandmother. Imagine my father's mother died so early, right? But my father's mother died so early, but my father's grandmother, she died. She died, I think, somewhere around 1946. Yeah, I think somewhere around 1946, my father's mother, my father's mother died. Oh, Pita, so nice. Thank you, Pita. Thank you. Yeah, Pita, thank you. We just crossed little over 1 hour. So thank you, Pita. Thank you for checking in again. So my father's mother, so my yeah, so my father's mother, so my grandmother from my father's side, she died. No, my father's grandmother. Sorry, what am I talking? Yeah, that's why I'm saying something was wrong. My father's mother died in 1925, so that's my grandmother. So my father's grandmother, okay, my father's grandmother, she passed away around 1946. She passed away around 1946. So my great grandmother passed away around 1946, and I was born in 1954. So not bad, no. My great grandmother was still alive, but of course I had not seen her because I was born only after she passed away, but till 1946. And my grandfather, my father's father, so my grandfather, he passed away. He passed away in 1956. So when I was 2 years old, but I have never seen him. And my father never had any pictures. It's sad. But he says like, but at least okay, they had to all leave. They had to all leave Burma, so maybe because of that they never had any pictures or something. But maybe they never took out any pictures. Funny. They never had any pictures. But really, my father never ever spoke, except for saying except for saying like they were in Burma and how they all fled from Burma. But he never even said he was born in Burma. He always said, I'm born in India, I will die in India. So, so, I don't know about that part of it now. So I don't know much about my father's life from before. So, yeah, so that was the story. And so after my father's death, when I looked at his passport and all, then that was quite recently. So I've been very interested to know about the family. And recently mean now, from the time I'm staying in Thailand. Now, recently only I came to know so many things, and I got interested to know about my family history and you know. But talking about that, there is another. I think I mentioned it before. A person by the name of Edgar Rice in the U.S. was writing a life history about a biography about Sir Richard Burton. Very notorious person he was, but very well loved man, great person in the army. Knew a lot of languages. If I like maybe something like some 26 languages, something like that. Like he knew a lot of languages. He would blend in with the people. He would disguise himself, blend in with the people. So they did research, like in Burton's, and then my wife was in school with somebody who was helping Sir Richard Burton. She was in India, and she was helping Sir Richard Burton in the U.S. about this article. And she said, "I know in school a there was a uh, there was a Burton. There was this lady who was married to a Burton. So I'll try to get in touch with her. And remember, there was no emails, no Facebook, no nothing. But somehow or the other, she got in touch with my mother, and then they did some research, and it's published in a book called Sir Richard Burton's biography. They named the book something, I don't know, something about his journeys or something. So my mom has a copy of the book. Maybe one day I will take it and read it now. Maybe I will take it and start reading it. It's a very thick book with thin pages, very thick book. Where's this very thick book? Very thick book it is, like, and it's got like a thinner pages and all. So I'll get it. My mom always said take it and keep it because like I'm the eldest son. The eldest brother had only a daughter, and then my father was second eldest, and I was the eldest. So I was the eldest boy in all the family. I was the eldest boy, the Burton. So anyhow, they contacted us. So we got a book. My mom has got a book somewhere. I'll take it and I'll start reading it. So she always told me, take it, Winston, and all. I said, I have no time to read. I have no time to read. And for me, I stopped reading. I love reading. I stopped reading because I like to read a book from cover to cover, maybe within one day or maximum 2 days. But then when it got to a time, I became very busy and, work and home and things like that. And I couldn't be finishing it. And then you're reading it after 1 week, you're picking up a book. You've lost the chain of thought, the line of the story, you've lost it. So, I said, forget it, like, so I stopped reading. But I read on the internet. Ever since internet has come, I read a lot of articles, a lot of stories. I read a lot of, things like that. But that is quick reading. You just read something like that, and So yeah, so they have, but the tracing, but they didn't give us the whole lineage what they've traced, but they said like they traced our family roots to one generation before Sir Richard Burton. That's what they said, and they mentioned that in the book as well, I believe. So they came to one generation before, and they were not able to make the link. So they feel, according to their findings, that either we are from Sir Richard Burton, or we are from his brother, his younger brother, something who was called Nashville Burton. So either we are from him, or from a line of descent from him, or we are from uh, his younger brother, I think Nashville Burton. So yeah, so that's our story. But we don't have that lineage with us, and now Edgar Rice is dead and gone, and the Tina Guha also has become very old, can't remember anything. So there's no way of finding out from them, like, how, you know. By right, they should have given us, like, after tracing, they should have given it to us. So we would know, like, our lineage, how far back we could go. So, and yeah, that's that. That's the story of my life in a nutshell. Yes, Pita, I always keep saying this is the worst experience for you. So many series of deaths in your family. It's really, it's the worst. Let's say from last year to this year, right? Let's put it this way. Just see now, within a week to 10 days, right? Within a week to 10 days, your nephew and now your cousin passed away. It's really tragic. It's really tragic. Talking about this, I will mention about another incident, okay? I will mention about another incident. And I feel bad. I feel bad, but it was like I was just thinking about an analysis about what I'm going to tell you. And I'm just following on the basis of that, like wondering, is there any sign in that, like, So what that is, I'll tell you. My wife passed away in 2018, right? My wife passed away in 2018. Her mother, her mother passed away in 2016. We went to India for the funeral. When she got the call that her mom has passed away, she told them, "We are booking our flight. Just keep the body. Don't bury it. We are coming there. We'll come there for the burial, and we'll bear all the expenses for the burial and all that." So 2016, my wife had still a condition, but okay, she had just started in 2014. So she was in a mid crisis of a. So my mother-in-law died in 2016. My wife died in 2018. My brother-in-law, who's my wife's younger brother, first comes my wife, then comes another sister, then comes a brother, and then comes a fourth child, which is a brother. Okay, so that's the thing. So my brother-in-law, he passed away, and he passed away in 2022. Okay, 2022, not because of COVID, but he passed away because of he got a heart attack. He went for a vacation. He was working in Dubai. He came to India. He and his wife went for a vacation, and he developed a heart attack, and he passed away with heart. So he passed away in 1922. So when he passed away, I suddenly asked, "What about the other sister? Where is she?" Because she was staying in the same city where we had our house, where my sister is now. So she was staying there. So I casually one day just asked, like, where is she? No news from her. I never used to keep in touch with them actually. So I just asked where, and they said, "Oh, she passed away in 2020." I said, "What? Oh, I did not know she passed away." Yes, in 2020. So now look at the pattern. 2016, my mother-in-law passed away. My wife passed away in 2018, 2 years later. 2 years later, in 2020, my sister-in-law passed away, my wife's sister, who and just in same order, no? My wife is born first, so she passed away in 2018. The sister was born next, she passed away in 2020. The boy was next, he passed away in 2022. So suddenly I realized in 2022, oh my God, there's a 2 year pattern in the family. The mother died, and all in the same order as they were born. So the mother died. 2 years later, the daughter died, my wife. 2 years later, the other daughter died. Then 2 years later, the son died. So I began to wonder, will the youngest fellow pass away in 2024? The thought just entered my mind, will the younger boy pass away in 2024? So I said, oh my God, this is bad. Every two years. Now we have finally reached 2024. And he's not keeping well, he's not been keeping well from last year. He's also got diabetes and pressure and God knows what all he's got. So he's also not been keeping too well health wise. So I don't know. We have reached 2024, God forbid. But I was just thinking of the pattern. Everybody passed in after 2 years. Everyone passed, and now it's 2024. So till this year is over, that thing will be on my head. Poor guy. It will be on my head. I haven't shared this with any of them. I was telling my sister, I was telling my daughter, I said, I just came to this conclusion and realized this, and now we are already in 2024. By God, death is sure, life is uncertain, death is sure, right? Very sad, very sad. So I just pray, like, nothing really happens to him, but the very fact that he is not keeping well from last year, so, that is also a problem. That's so sad. So, yeah, that's tragedy. That's bad news, right? So I agree with you, Peter. It's really a bad season for you. It's really a bad season for you. Let me just charge my phone, my laptop quickly. I don't want it going off. Where is this other end? I don't want it going off suddenly. So yeah, so that's tragedy, right? That's it's really tragedy. So I don't know. I make too much of analysis. I make too much of analysis, and so many times, like I think too deep. I think too deep about many things in life. I think too deep. Yeah, it's really very sad. It's really very sad. I hope things will get better for you, Pita. I really hope things will get better. And these are all close family members, right? Close family members. Your nephew, your cousin, close family members. That's why this time, if I ever make a trip to India, I just want to go and visit my cousins. I have cousins from my father's side. My cousins don't want to keep in touch, so that's their loss. I'm not interested. But I've got cousins from my mother's side, and from my mother's side, I've got a cousin also in Makati. From my mother's side, I've got a cousin of mine in Makati. So my mother's brother's son, my mother's brother's son. His story is a nice story. He got a job in Singapore. When he left India, he got a job in Singapore and left India. And he was working for this company in Singapore. And then he happened to fall in love with the boss's daughter. So the boss is from Philippines, and the daughter, of course, Philippines. And they had opened out their company in Singapore. And later on in life, the father-in-law wound up the company, closed it down, and then they all had to move to they moved back to Makati. So now he's got a posh place and everything in Makati. I believe so. So I feel bad to be in touch with him because I did try, and he seemed to be friendly enough. He seemed to be friendly enough, but he's not forthcoming. Just I messaged him, he replied back, and then when I messaged him again some other time, he replied back, and he replied like so, but he's not really. I can see he's not keen to keep in touch. So I don't want him to feel I'm being in touch because I'm obligated. Like I want to. I don't want to be obligated to him. I don't want to stay. I can stay in a hotel, no problem. But I just want to meet him. And what happened? His son got a job in Dubai, and his son married a girl, and they both came to Dubai. And somehow the other, they through Facebook, they got in touch with my sister in Dubai. Then they became very good friends, and that's how my sister came to know about them more and about our cousin. So I think I must keep in touch with him more often. But I don't like, from my side, if I am going to only keep in touch with you and you don't want to keep in touch with me. And I guess he must be thinking also after so many years, why is this fellow suddenly keeping in touch with me? Oh, he's coming to Philippines many times. Oh, so he may want to stay here. Correct. So that is why he's keeping in touch. No, I'll never be obligated to anybody. No, never. So, but I just want to keep in touch because from my mother's side, my cousins were okay. He left, of course, and went long ago. But he's got another sister, and then a younger sister and brother as well. And no, he's got two younger sisters. The elder brother died many years back, and then he's got two younger sisters, and they are both doing well for themselves. Especially one of them, the little younger one to him, is doing very well for herself. So in fact, she's in the US for her second delivery. So yeah, they are doing very well. So I just want to, and they are much in touch with my mom, the sister, very much in touch with my mom and with my sister also. They are very much in touch as cousins. And their mother has even come and stayed with us when we were kids. Like, she stayed with us for a long time after her husband died. That means my wife's brother. When he died, then she came and stayed with us a long many years because the children were all in homes, boarding school studying. So she used to come and stay with us for a long time. She stayed with us. So yeah, so that's the story, So yeah, but this time when I go to Philippines, I'm going to stay in Manila for some time. So I'll stay in the hotel, so he will know, I'm not uh, coming to sponge on him at all. So I will definitely tell him I'm coming. I'll be staying in a hotel, and is it okay? Like we can meet up. If he offers me a meal in his house, well, I'll accept the hospitality, right? It'll be good because that will mean like there'll be a lot of chatting before and meal time and after also. So let's see how it turns out to be. I still remember if he shows me a photograph of him when he's young, a photograph where he is, I can pinpoint. I will be able to pinpoint where he is. I still have his picture in my mind, when he was young. But I must check his Facebook. He must have put on a lot of weight and all that now. But yeah, I still picture him in my mind. And his father, he used to sell all prayer books and rosaries and all. He used to sell, and he used to come over to my school many times. He used to come over to my school, and whatever little money he had, he would give me some money. I remember him so much. He used to come and give me, and he said, Baba, don't tell at home, huh? Don't tell at home I came to see you. I don't know why. He used to drink, so they didn't like him. They didn't like him. He used to say, don't tell at home, okay? Don't tell I came to see you, Baba, okay? I said, okay, yeah, uncle, no problem, don't worry. So, yeah, very nice. I still remember him. Very nice man. Very nice man. I have great value for people. I have very great value for people. So these little things touch me a lot. I'm very sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person. As I always say, I'm very sentimental. Very sentimental. 10% senti, 99. 10% senti, 90% mental. So I'm very sentimental. 10% senti, 90% mental. Certain incidents, they touch me very much, and I can break into tears. When I'm really touched, I can break into tears. I can really break into tears. So sad. It's so sad. So sad. So Yeah, tragedy. So on a good note, I will go and meet my cousin as well. Then when I go to India, I want to meet all my cousins. I want to meet all my cousins. Two cousins I saw when I went for my 200th year. I think that was 2016. I think it was when I went for my 200th year school celebration. My sister and myself. So that time, my two cousins came over and visited us where we stayed. So like it's almost 8 years. But the other cousins I've never seen. I've got still another boy and another girl cousin who I have not met for from the time we were children. From the time we are children, I've not met them. And these two also, I met them now in 2016, and last was when we were kids. So not ever met them. And four of them are there, and three of my other cousins passed away. So, and their parents also have passed away now. Their parents have passed away. But there was a big age gap between my mom and her sister. There was a pretty big age gap between my mom and her sister. And my mom is 87, but she's still like hale and she got aches and pains, but she's still very active. Her mind also works like 200%. So she's still very active, though she's 87. And if you really want to see her in action, you have to see her on the dance floor. She'll be teaching others how to jive. Forget about her jiving. She'll be teaching, and she will be the man. She'll be the man doing the steps with the girls. She's still very active. She dances much better than what I can dance. So, okay, I'm coming to about two. I'm coming to about two. Oh, Trixie! Hello, Trixie. How are you? You told me you're coming long ago. Maybe you had Wi-Fi internet connection problems or data problem or some problem you must have had. So anyway, thanks for coming here. Don't forget to click on like button. Click on the like button. Okay, don't forget. Okay, good to see you here. Have you had any bad experiences in your life? Today's theme, talking about the worst, the bad experiences. Have you had any bad experiences in your life? If you want to share any of your bad, worst experiences. So, so Trixie, any bad experience you want to share? Steven, hello, Steven. I was telling everybody that it is your off days, and normally you peep in when you come back from work from a night shift. You normally peep in around 5:30 ish, but naturally today you're at home, so I said it's still too early for you to get up. Like so, I know, but so I know your problem, so that was okay, like but Steven, okay, you want to share any of your bad experiences? I told you yesterday we will do bad experiences, and I have shared a lot of bad experiences and some other good humorous incident in between, which I just couldn't help it. I had to share that humorous incident, but yeah. So Steven, you want to shoot off if it's okay for you, if you're fully awake, if you had your morning cup of coffee or tea or whatever you have. Do you want to shoot any of your worst experiences? No, it's okay, Stephen. I understand. Oh, Joyce. Oh, sorry, Joyce. Joyce, sorry to be late. Just woke up. It's okay, Joyce. No problem. Better late than never, right? Better late than never. And Joyce, it is morning for you. Like Stephen, it is morning for you. And I go on live at 5 o'clock. So I don't expect you to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So it's perfectly fine. Don't worry, Joyce. Even I told Stephen the same thing. Don't worry, it's okay. I wouldn't get up at 5 o'clock just to attend somebody's live stream, right? Uh, but I have got up like at 5 o'clock for a pee break, or sometimes I get up at 3 o'clock for a pee break, and then before going back to bed, invariably I will, post the video that is out for the day. I will share it on social media and things like that. I will share it on social media and things like that. So, so I would. So I understand perfectly well. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. Yes, there's the song, right? Don't worry, be happy. My wife loved that. It's sung by the Jamaicans or something like that, right? By one of them, I think. So don't worry, be happy. Trixie, sad to tell here my worst experience. Trixie, many people are sharing their worst experience. Now look, Stephen is sharing his worst experience. My worst experience was when Martha's son, my stepson, what? Oh my God, that's real tragedy. Was murdered in 2012. He was shot by the jealousy of a girl he was dating. Oh my God, Stephen, yes. Stephen, uh, there was once a priest in India. There was once a priest who told me, he said, I have lost a father, I have lost a mother, I have lost brothers and sisters, I have lost many members of my family. He said, but Winston, the worst, the worst thing you can ever lose is your child. Because there's a very famous Indian actor by the name of Sanjay Khan. He has a brother also who was an actor. Then both of them became directors and took out movies in their own under their own banner. So they were shooting in a place called Hyderabad in South India, and the set caught on fire. So many people died in that fire. And Sanjay Khan, the actor, he himself, and he was also directing the movie, but he himself got burnt on his face. He got burnt on his face, and what plastic surgery he went through. So this priest, he's a Protestant priest, so they can get married. So he lost his son in that fire, and he said, Winston, the worst is to lose your child. So, Stephen, my heart really goes out to you and Martha. It really goes out to you and Martha, and I can understand. I can understand the feeling, because when this priest told me, I could be with him. uh, I have not lost any of my children. I have not, thank God, I have not lost any of my children. But I can feel, I can sense, that grief, because I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a lot in my life. I mentioned about my grandmother passing away, my father passing away. Oh my God, I didn't speak about him because uh, I will break down. If I start talking about my father, I'm going to break down. I'm really going to break down. I almost broke down with my wife and with my grandmother. But if I talk about my father, I'm going to break down for sure. I will not be able to control myself. So I don't know if I can talk even a little bit about him, but I don't know. So, so yes, because when I was doing my teacher's training, we had a boy. Like when I went to Australia, I stayed in Melbourne with one of the boys, and I stayed in Sydney with the other boy. And the boy from Sydney came to Melbourne and stayed in that house also with that. So Raymond is from Melbourne. So Howard came from Sydney, stayed with Raymond in Melbourne where I was staying, and then Raymond drove back again to Sydney. So Howard and myself went for the ride with Raymond. He planned from before. He's not flying. He'll take his car and he'll drive. He likes to drive. So he drove, and we went back to Sydney. And when both of us, Raymond and myself, stayed in Howard's house in Sydney. So if you see my reunion live stream, you can see who's Howard. I've named them. So you can see Raymond, you can see Howard. I've named them over there. So uh, yeah, we went to Sydney and we stayed there. So they were staying in one room, and they had another boy by the name of Michael Druat. So Michael Druat, he was staying in their room. He was the third boy. He hardly finished college. We finished in 1976. 2 years we did teachers training, 1975 and 1976. And 1976, when we finished the teachers training, I think, yeah, it was December. In the following year, 1977, he was friendly. He's in a place called Calcutta, and in Calcutta they have a kind of a people called the Naxalites, always creating problems and very notorious for extortion and beating up people and murder and all that. So she was the daughter of an Naxalite, and you know what they did? Because they were Bengalis, they did not allow, Bengali people. So they did not want him as a Christian Anglo-Indian, to marry their daughter. So one night when he was sleeping, one night they came and they burnt his house and burnt him also with the house. Can you imagine him facing such a death? So he was rushed off to the hospital and all, but like he had 90% degree burns. And a friend of his also was from Calcutta, and he said, and I went to see him, they for burns, and that to 90%. So they are covered in something like, it cannot have anything touching their body, their skin so badly burnt. But he passed away. But no action, nothing was taken, because the Naxalites, they controlled everything, mafia like they are, like the Italian dons, how they had the Italian dons, the mafia like that. So uh, yeah, so really sorry, and tell Martha also we are really sorry to hear about that. We know what. what it is like. So, I heard that time, I heard about this friend of mine, getting burnt. And such a nice boy he was, very nice. He and Raymond, they belonged to the Assembly of God church, and they had beautiful voices, beautiful voices. What a tragic way to die, to be burnt in your own house. And how he must have been suffering when he was still taken to hospital with 90-degree burns. But he passed away soon. Okay, Stephen, I've given another story. When I was in grade 4 or 5, the house we were living in at the time burnt down. No one was home at the time, but we lost everything. The house was a rental with bad wiring. Wow, thank God you were all saved, Stephen. Like I just told you, I didn't even read your story, but I was telling you the story about this friend of mine. They burnt down the house because he was friendly with that girl. They burnt down the house. So yes, people do these kind of things. So I can imagine those people coming and shooting, Martha's son. Oh my God. 2012. Wow, that's a long time. That's really sad. Really, really sad. Really sorry to hear about that. That's why, what I learned in life is never to be angry with somebody, even if they are angry, never to, retaliate, because you do not know what some people are going through, right? We do not know what some people are going through. They may be behaving in a certain way. Like, just briefly to tell you about my father. My father, very nice man, very kind man. And he mostly, thank you, Pita, thank you for still being here. And he mostly stayed with us. Like, he used to come to Pune where I was working for 10 years in that school. And very often he stayed with us for a long time. And very nice man. Don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to click the like button. There are only 3 likes, and there are so many and there are 5 people. Don't forget to click the like button, please. So, before he died, maybe a week or so before he died, he started behaving very rude with us. Very, very rude. He started behaving with us. And like he had a heart attack on 13th of October. That is my sister's birthday. 13th of October, he just arrived at our house in the early morning, and he had an argument with the rickshaw fellow about the fare. And when he came home, we could hear the shouting, across. So then we discovered it was my dad's voice. So we quickly ran down and all that. And we said, Dad, don't worry. It's a night. It's after 12 o'clock. It's early morning. You have to pay the extra fare and all that. Anyhow, long story short, he came home. That was around the 12th or something, and then on the 13th he got this heart attack. So we rushed him off to the hospital. 13th of October. 1 month he stayed in ICU. 1 month he stayed in ICU. Nobody stays in ICU for so long, right? But 1 month. We almost lost him at that time. He even had a pacemaker put. He even had a pacemaker put in, to his heart. But at one time, I remember like the doctor suddenly came. I went quickly. I said, my father's turning bad. So they came, and instead of shoving me out of the main door, they shoved me out of a door which went into the small balcony. So from the balcony, I was being able to see through the chunk of the curtain in the window. I could see what all they were doing, what all they tried to do to revive my father. They finally revived him, but there was a Dr. Modi, he was in charge. Quite an elderly person, but very good heart specialist. He was heart surgeon. So when I asked him like what happened, then he said, son, Winston, whatever we could do, we have done. Now everything is left in God's hand. Imagine he said that everything is left in God's hand. We have done whatever we can. And this happened like in the evening. Next morning, it was like a miracle. Really, it was like a miracle the next morning, because next morning my father was feeling perfectly fine. He was feeling perfectly fine. And when doctor came to see him and then they took him for his tests and all, they said it's unbelievable. He's really doing very well. And to think like last evening we thought we had lost him. So I asked the doctor, like, doctor, what do you feel? Why? Like you almost lost him the previous evening, and now the next morning, like it's like he's really okay. And you know what the doctor said? He said, I have no explanation for it. The only thing I can say is that it's a miracle that your father is doing well. Imagine that surgeon, well-known surgeon, they work to do whatever they can with my father, but he said the only thing I have, the only name I have for this is it's a miracle. And after a week, they moved him out of the ICU. They removed his pacemaker also. Now people don't remove the pacemaker, right? But his heart was functioning so well, they removed the pacemaker also, and he was still doing well. But they told him, things like don't exert yourself, don't do this, don't do that. But no, my father, in the beginning, I used to give him a bath. I used to give him a bath. But then little by little, he started, when you wipe yourself, you're washing yourself, you're vigorous, right? So he was like that. Dad, don't, I'm here, I'll take care of you, I'll give you. No, my son, I'm capable, I can do it myself. Don't worry, I can do. So he also would do So anyhow, so that was it. Then my son, the second one, my son was quite plumpy when he was small. Now he's okay, but he's still little plumpy side. But he's got muscles and all now. But when he was small, he was like on the plumpy side. And my father used to carry him. We said, please don't carry him at all. You're not supposed to. And you will carry him up to the window and let him see outside, or take him out in the passage. And we used to say, don't do this, don't carry. But he used to still do it. So about 1 week before he passed away, he started behaving very rude with us, very, very rude with us. And we were always snarling and snapping, and even at my wife. And we said, this is not that. So we thought it's the effect of the medication, maybe because he had to take a lot of medication. Oh my God, morning, noon, and night was medications he had to take. And then when he passed away, and he passed away on 13th of January. So exactly 3 months later, because once the doctor, when he felt better and he went for a checkup, the hospital is near the railway station. So he said, when I got this heart attack, my daughter, my sister was in Muscat at that time, Oman, Muscat. She and her husband and all, and they were planning on taking my dad there. They were planning on taking my dad there. So he said, my daughter was planning, and they had already applied for the visa, and like the visa came, but he couldn't travel. So when will I be able to travel to Dubai? I want to go, and see. I want to see Muscat. I want to see Muscat, and when can I go? And the doctor turned on and told him, Mr. Burton, you've been in the railway. You were working in the railway, right? So you used to come to Pune station, right? So the Pune station is so close from here. I will not let you go to Pune station, and you are talking about go to Muscat. Impossible, he said. So he said, but at some time I will get all right, right? So after how long do you think I can go? And the doctor said, for the first 3 months you cannot travel anywhere. I will not permit you to travel anywhere. You will stay here only with your son and daughter-in-law. For 3 months, you will not go anywhere. So, I told you, I think very deep about everything. So when he passed away, I began to analyze. Why did he pass away so tragically, so suddenly, And then it struck me, okay, my father must have known he's going to pass away. He must have had some kind of premonition or something. He must have known he's going to pass away. Because of that, he may have started getting angry with us, so that we will not like him, we will hate him, so we will not feel the loss if he dies. But I think he started getting angry with us too late. We have known him, I have known him for so many years. My wife has known him for so many years. For so many years, he used to come and live with us mostly. My mom couldn't live in Pune because there was a thing called Congress grass, and it used to affect her, give her an allergy for it. So she could never, even if she came for 1 2 days, she would start with that allergy and have to run back. So she couldn't spend much time with us. So my father, I felt it this way. He started being so rude to us, thinking that we will hate him when he goes. So we will not miss him. But he doesn't know. Till today, I miss him. Till today, I miss him a lot. I miss him a lot till today. So he used to feel a little cold, and this was like December, January, and also Pune gets quite nice and chilly late, like little chilly it gets. But he was sick, so he started to feel cold. So he had a very long overcoat, very long, almost like below his knees. So what happened was when he died, when he passed away, this overcoat, when we went to check his overcoat, put it, give it for washing and all that, we discovered bunches of medication in his coat pocket, in the inner lining of his coat pocket, bunches. First, we used to make sure he's taking it. Then he said, no, I'll take it myself. So we used to believe he's taking his medication. But no, we saw bunches of medication. He had stopped even taking his medication. He had stopped even taking his medication. So I think he gave up on life. Because remember, the doctor said 3 months. So 13th October, he got his heart attack. 13th of January, 3 months exact, correct? 3 months exact, 13th January, 13th October, my daughter's birthday, my sister's birthday, sorry. All right. 13th October is my sister's birthday, and 13th of January is my father's birthday, and it's exactly 3 months later. He passed away. I put him into, a friend came the day before. A friend came the day before, and my mom came to stay with us for a day before that. And they both started brainwashing him to go for a second checkup. And he refused to go back to the same hospital where he was. I told him, Dad, that hospital knows your case. It's a miracle that you have been alive all this time. They know what you are suffering from. They know the extent of your damage. They know everything. Don't go to a new hospital. Please go back to that old hospital. And he refused. He said no. And the doctor he went to see was attached to the Seventh-day Adventist hospital. And the Seventh-day Adventist hospital, even to the Seventh-day Adventist people, is a kill me quick hospital. But he insisted, and this doctor said, yes, I also attend the Seventh-day Adventist, so I can come there and check up on you. So we kept him at the hospital. We left my mom over there to take care of him. I used to come to pick up my wife after school, I used to pick up my wife from work and bring her home. So that day I came home and my mom said, just bring me a book to read, bring me some coffee and some sandwiches. I said, okay. So from there I drove straight. I rode my bike. I rode straight to my sister's office, my my wife's office. My wife's office. I picked up my wife, came home, told her like this. Dad is in hospital, and he's in the Seventh-day Adventist. Came home, made up some coffee, sandwiches, and all that, and took a book and all, and we were going back again. As we came into the lane of the hospital, something made me look into a rickshaw, auto rickshaw, and I saw my wife, and I shouted, "Mom, mom, mom, mom!" So quickly, I turned my bike, my motorbike. I turned and I went back and stopped the rickshaw and asked Mom, "Where are you going? Why have you left Dad?" And she said, "Dad is no more." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yes, Dad is no more." Later on, I wanted to sue the hospital because I went and asked for a report from the hospital. And the hospital gave me a report, and in the report, they gave a whole thing of the medications they had administered and given him. And I told them, how can you give all these medicines to him in few hours that he's in the hospital? How can you give him all these medicines? Each medicine has a certain reaction. He had to take all medication. But see, they don't know his condition from before, right? They are only going according to the report. So in the report, they are telling us we gave all these medications to him. How? They are supposed to be taken at certain times, certain medications. You cannot take combination of some medications. So how? I think they diagnosed him wrong and they would have killed him, that hospital. But then, in India also, legal things take so many years, right? And then the very next year, I left. Not the next year, he died in 1990. Then in 1991, I moved to our house. We got possession of our house. And then in 1992, I moved to our house. And then I got a job in the Gulf, Dubai, and I went. And 1993 January, I brought my wife and my kids to Dubai. So, that's the story of my father. He really passed away so tragically, but I think it's the hospital's fault. They killed him. So, Joyce, I remember you saying something about your mom. Uh, yeah, Joyce said about her mother passing away. Okay, they tried to revive her, but long story short, she died with me by her side. I was so shocked. Yes, I know. It's sad, when somebody dies before your eyes. It's really like it's sad that I did not get to see my wife. I saw her only after she passed away. I saw my father only after he passed away. Stephen says my mother passed of cancer in 2015. Family was all by her side. Whenever she passed, I was holding her hand. Yeah, so it's really sad, right? At least you were there. You were there. You could hold her hand. You could be with her in her last moments. I wasn't with my grandmother. I wasn't with my father. I wasn't with my wife. Today in my prayers, I'm going to remember all of you who have gone through, these sad times. And Pita, who's also going through sad times. I keep her in my prayers always. But today it will be a special prayer for all of you who have lost the loved ones. Memories live on, right? Memories live on. They will live on forever till we go to our grave. We'll take all those memories with us to our grave also. My father is 86 now and keeps saying he wants to be with mom. So sad. My mom is 87, but she's still hale and I mean, she's quite hale and hearty that way. She's still strong in mind. She's able to take care. Recently, now she likes to be independent, so she wanted to go to Bombay. She has more friends there, so she went to Bombay. My sister took a place of rent for her there, and without telling all of us, she traveled to the US. Can you believe that? My mom traveled by herself. She's 87. She traveled 87 now. In March, she'll be 88. In March, she will be 88. She traveled on her own all the way to US. And then we get messages from her from US. And even the other people said, yes, she's with us right now. And they said, how did you send her alone? Like telling my sister, you're such an irresponsible daughter. You sent your mother alone. But my mother is capable of taking care of herself now. But you do not know what can happen when, right? She is of age, but yeah, she went on her own. Imagine flying from Bombay to US, went to JFK. From JFK, she took another flight and went to, oh, I don't know. I don't know where this friend of ours lives. We were good family friends. No, I said in one live stream, we used to go to their house to watch TV and all that. Their house was overlooking our school compound. So that girl, is now in US. Her first husband died, and now she's with her second husband and a daughter. So yeah, my mom went there. Then she went to spend with the other, I told you, my cousin in Makati. His younger sister went to New York for her second delivery. So my mom then went to spend some time with them. Now she's back. So yeah, she went on her own. She traveled there and back on her own. So see, when it's sad, your father's tired of life and he wants to join his wife now. That's the worst, when they get tired of life. That's the worst. So I guess, Stephen, your father must be still living on his own. Is it that he's living on his own? Because normally, if they are living with their children, they have the children, they have the grandchildren. They're very happy. I'm happy when I'm with my grandchildren. Now, the other day when I was there, the last time I was there in August, they don't eat spicy food. That's what my daughter always says. My daughter and my son-in-law, like, oh, they don't like spicy food and blah 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 and all that. So that day I made some food for myself, and well, it was a little spicy. It was a little spicy. It was a little spicy. But some of the other I had not made it very spicy. I don't know for what reason. And I sat down to eat, and the boy said, the girl is the eldest, then comes a boy, and then comes another boy. So he said, Grandpa, can I have a small piece to taste? I said, yes, but it's a little spicy. So, so, so what happened was, I said, okay, I give you a little, you taste it and see. He tasted, and then he said, Grandpa, I will have this with rice and all, what you made, chicken curry and all. I will have it with the rice. I said, really? He said, yes, I will have it. I said, okay, fine. Then the younger boy said, I also want to eat. That guy started eating. And then the girl, she doesn't eat spicy whatsoever, not even a little bit. So she wanted to taste it, and the boy kept saying, no, but it is very spicy for you. You don't like even little spicy, it's very spicy for you. So she had a little, but then she said, it's very tasty, Grandpa, but I don't like spicy. I said, okay, no problem. So when the parents came and asked them, did they have food? And they said, yes, but we had what Grandpa cooked. And she said, what? And then she tasted and she said, why, it is a little spicy. How did these two boys eat it? I said, well, they ate it, asked them. They said they ate it, they enjoyed it. And the little boy had to drink some water often, but he was still eating it. He didn't want to give up. And the elder boy, sometimes he drank water in between, but they enjoyed it. He said, Dad, you have to tell me what recipe you put. I said, I put our same spices, as usual. See, I have to talk about food when I'm on my live stream. Always it comes to food and makes me feel hungry. So anyhow, so he said, like, about this. Oh, okay, okay, I said. So they said, oh, right, very nice and all. So I was telling my daughter, next time I come, I will cook. Don't worry. So I don't know now whether she said, oh, then I must start cooking some little spicy food and give them. But they are always ordering for fast food, KFC and Burger King and all those kind of fast food things. Not good for kids. Fast food, not good for kids. But I don't interfere in anybody's life. It's your kids. You know your best. You know what it is responsibility. You bring up your kids as you want. Because my mom used to interfere a lot. Why don't you do this, that? And I said, Mom, you brought us up as you wanted. Let us bring up the kids as we wanted. And so I pass on the same thing to my kids. I don't want to interfere with them. You bring up your kids as you wanted. I may not agree with some things, I may not like something, but I will keep quiet. They're your kids, you know better. I will not say anything. From here, sometimes I may just, sometimes if she says something, I may just say, If you want, I can just give you my opinion, and if she says yes, then I give her my opinion. But otherwise, I'm not forthcoming with my opinions. No, I'm not forthcoming because I don't want, oh, grandpa said like this, grandpa said like that, or grandpa told me to give this and see what happened now, and I don't want like that. I let each one run their family as they want. I believe that all experiences, Stephen says that all experiences, good or bad, make us stronger and better human beings. I agree, Stephen. That's why in my thumbnail, I put one picture on the bottom left hand side, right? It says something about don't remember your bad experiences, but take away the good lessons. Take away the good lessons, something like that. But of course, when you take away good lessons, you learn from it. You associate with, you remember the bad ones. You cannot forget it, right? So, but something like that. The thumbnail says that. I remember the thumbnail says something like that. For the previous yesterday's thumbnail, I did not take long to make it. I think within 5 minutes, my thumbnail was up and ready because the I had a ready picture from a video of mine. But making today's thumbnail took me almost 45 minutes to 1 hour again. Today's thumbnail. Because I searched for pictures, I downloaded pictures. When I started putting it up, it wouldn't fit, and some I found I don't like this picture now anymore. And I had to Google and take out more pictures, and I kept doing that. And finally, till I found the proper layout, adjusting sizes for the layout and to fit on the thumbnail. And then finally, when I felt like, okay, now I'm okay, I'm satisfied with the thumbnail. Not really satisfied because I don't like the color combinations that it is spread around. I was trying to have something else and have a highlight in the middle, but I couldn't manage the pictures to fit, so I just let it be to the best of my ability. So because if I was cropping the pictures or resizing them, then the lettering was going off, right? Correct? The lettering was going off. So the wordings were going off. So I did not want that. I like the wording, so I did not want that going off. So I had to compromise and all and leave it as it is. Though I'm not so happy with the color combination, I just left it as it is. But the wordings are nice, which are on the thumbnail. So it took me 45 minutes to 1 hour. I think sure 1 hour. It took me or more also than 1 hour. And then I had to load it on. Then I had to load it on. So it did take me a long time. It did take me a long time. So yes, so that is it. So yeah, that is true. That is true. So yes, bad experiences, we take home the lessons that we learn for the bad experiences, everything. And these things have taught me a lot of lessons in life, a lot of lessons in life. But like I said, I'm too sentimental, so I still suffer because of that. I've tried to come out of it, but it's very difficult. That's one of the main reasons I left Canada. Passing, I used to go to work, I used to pass through the same mall. The mall was close to my house. I used to go to the Walmart over there for shopping. I used to go to other places around. But when I used to work as security, passing through that mall to go to another province, I used to work in another city, sorry, another city I used to work. And I had to take the bus from there and come back also by bus at the bus terminal. And from there, sometimes I never used to get a bus home. Then late in the night, I'm walking home. So, it's all the same route. And I never liked Canada. So the memories were too strong for me. So I said, no, I have to leave Canada. Plus, security job I cannot manage if I'm staying on my own. It was a it was a very trying months for me. Working on one salary. It was very very difficult for me. So Southeast Asian countries was the only one available for me. So I came here. Okay, everyone. I've done about 2.5 hours. I wanted to stop at 2 o'clock, but then after 2 hours, I wanted to stop. But then Stephen came on. Pita just came on a little before that, and while I was saying hi to Pita, or Stephen came on, then Pita came on, or something like that. I forget the order, and then Joyce came on. So then I said, okay, good. I'll stay on there for a little more. But now I'm feeling hungry. I'm tired also because I did a live stream in the morning. Then I had early lunch. There was nobody in the morning, kind of very few interaction. So after 1 hour, I stopped, and then I had an early lunch, and then I went for a haircut. So it was very hot and this. So had a shower and when came back had a shower again, and then before my live stream I had another shower, and now I will have a shower before I go to bed. So I've got no food. I'll have to go out and buy. So it's already 7:30. Already 7:30. I'll have to see what food is available. Go and buy some food and eat. Or I have noodles. I can make noodles. Yeah, I have noodles. I can make up the noodles and have. I don't want to go out and buy food now. Let me see what I feel like doing. I can go out in my shorts. No problem. So I must really thank all of you. I'm hungry also, Stephen. Yeah, yes, Stephen. I know. I know. Thank you so much. So really, thank you so much for your. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being with me for so long. And I know, Stephen, in the morning, on your off days, it's very difficult for you to be here on your off days in the morning. And when you have a day shift, also being on my live stream is very difficult for you because it's 5:30 morning to 5:30 evening. So I understand. Don't worry, and it's only on your night shift that you can make it here. So don't worry, I appreciate the time you still spend here. And I don't know, God willing, like God willing, everything works well. I would really like to come and visit you and Martha. I like your land area. I like your thing about bow and arrow. I would like to try, what is a real bow and arrow in the hand, what it is like, how it is. So yeah, I would like to really come and pay a visit to you all. Let me plan if I make a US trip anytime. What happens? Let my wife, I'm saying, let my life settle down. It's still topsy turvy. I'm still at the crossroads of my life. Now, see this new development. I suddenly realized I have to go to Canada, and the fares are 2,500 Canadian dollars just for a one-way flight. 2.5 Canadian dollars for a one-way flight. But one thing good about that flight is I will take a direct flight from here to Vancouver, and then Vancouver I will take again an Air Canada flight from Vancouver to that always has goes that way from Vancouver to Calgary, from Calgary to Grand Prairie. That's always the route. There's no direct to Grand Prairie, and then my kids will come and pick me up. But the timing is not good. I land in Grand Prairie at about 6 o'clock in the evening. My kids cannot come to pick me up. My daughter and her son-in-law cannot because it's snowed. It's a driving hazard. Uh, they said they have to drive in daylight. So 6 o'clock in the evening means impossible because they have to spend about 3 hours, and with snow it might be longer to come and pick me up, and then another 3 hours or more to go back. So 6 o'clock is out of the question. I can land at the airport and stay there, but I'm going through my warm things. If I find I've got a jacket or something I've got which can keep me warm, I will then go. I'll stay at the airport. I don't care. I will stay 12, 14 hours, 16 hours at the airport. I will stay there. No problem, because at Vancouver it's only a 3.5 hours layover, and at Calgary another 3.5 hours layover. But I'm reaching at 6 o'clock, and I can't change those times. The flight is given right directly, so I tried to break up the flight. But even breaking up the flight, the fare is even more. Just from Canada to Vancouver, the fare is about 2,600, 2,400, 2,500. From 2,400 to 2,600 is the fare only from Canada to Vancouver, from Bangkok to Vancouver. But here I'm getting 2,400 from Bangkok direct up to Grand Prairie if I take the Air Canada flight directly. But I'll be paying more, almost $3,000. I'll be going to be paying because I have to pay for one extra baggage. I'm taking two baggages, so I have to pay for one extra baggage. Because from Canada, then If I can get my Indian visa, I will go and see my sister in India, and then from India I will go to Cebu, Philippines. So I'm not coming back to Thailand. So I don't want to do that. But $3,000 for a one way ticket is very expensive. And I cannot afford that, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just hanging on to see for some more. Anyhow, it's expensive. So, but by tomorrow I will Google some more, try to get some flights. I'm going to see something else, some other way of working out the flight, and see if that can work out for me. So that's why I'm at a crossroad. I do not know. My everything is hanging in the balance. There's no concrete plan what to do, where to do. Unless I say I book my flight from here and then flight to Cebu, from Canada direct to Cebu. But then if I can get my Indian visa, then when do I go to India? It will become so late to go to India. Like this, I can go on route, go to India, and from India go to Philippines. So let me see. I don't know. I just don't know. So thank you very much, everyone. I'll just put in a little thank you note. Okay, I always read back because I still sometimes make a typo error. I never expected I never expected today's live. I forgot a inverted comma, today's live. I never expected today's live to have such tragic stories. My heart goes out to all of you. Thanks. Thanks for happened now. What happened? What happened? Uh, Thanks for sharing. Special prayers tonight for you who have come through with courage. God bless you all. So I'll just pin that up. Replace the pinned message. Yes, replace. So thank you everyone from being here right till the very end of my live stream. I really appreciate the time you have spent with me. Grateful for it. I'm really also looking for watch hours. So you're really helping me with the watch hours. I know it is slow, but it is sure I will end there one day. Like I said, for some reason YouTube is giving me better watch hours last 2 days. So I hope this keeps on, and and I reach my target so that I can help some poorer kids like get through college education or university degree. So that is my main purpose in mind for this video channel. That's my purpose. My second channel, I'm not interested in monetization. I just hope I get subscribers and that the watch hours continue. That I'm just keeping to help people, you know, to start YouTube. If I can help my friends, as I'm helping some of my friends, my sister. So I'm helping to put the same thing. What I'm helping them, I'm helping to put the videos because they said it is easy to understand and think. So by Joyce, by Stephen, by my sister, wherever you are, by Pita. Pita, I'm really sorry about all the tragedy you are facing. I hope this is the end to all that, for time to come. So all of you take care, and I'll say love you all and God bless. All right, God bless.